Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. My name's Phil. It is Monday night, 7:30. I've just had the technical meltdown from hell, but here we are live. Get your views in, get your comments in. Let me know what you think to everything that's going on at Leicester at the moment. Obviously, things on the pitch been a bit iffy. Are you backing Rodgers? Most fans are backing Rodgers. 73% in our poll said they're backing Rodgers. Only 27% said they're not. Are you backing him with the majority or not? Let me know your views in tonight's Leicester City Fan Zone show.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. My name's Phil. Live every Monday. Sometimes it's a bit more organised than this. Sometimes it's a little bit off the hoof like this when I've had a technical meltdown. Anyway, you can follow us at Leicester Fan TV on all socials. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can do the lot. But this show is all about your comments. That is what we want. Good evening to you. Fearless Fox is watching on YouTube. What do you think to what's going on at Leicester at the moment? Most fans are backing Rodgers. Are you? Let me know. Good evening, David. Hope you're well. Wayne, good evening. Hope you are doing well. Chris as well. Karen, thanks for all your welcomes. I'll try and get as much on screen as possible. Keith, Light here says, Rodgers in, but relegation bottle my ears. Not quite sure, Keith, what you're on about there. Bazza, good evening. Don't forget, in exchange for me putting these comments on screen, you guys need to like, share, subscribe. If you're on Facebook, do us a favour and like the posts. Right, RF says here on YouTube, you've seen John Percy saying Rodgers' job is currently not under threat. I have seen that. And that's fair enough. You've got to remember, guys, check the videos from last week, the week before. I'm Rodgers in, but I am a frustrated Rodgers in. And wanting better, again, I'm going to say it. What did you think to yesterday? Last week, West Ham were losing 2-1 at the King Power Stadium. We all saw it. We were all there. West Ham, at 2-1 down with 5-10 minutes to go, decided to put Dawson up top to try and create a goal for them. And do you know what? He bloody did it. He scored a goal. That's what happens. You change things up. You're losing. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, but we played really well yesterday. I've had that. Yeah, the only thing that really matters from yesterday is the scoreline, and we lost. So you can say we played well. Come on, say it. We played well, Phil. It's the best I've seen us play in ages. We lost 2-1, and we didn't change it up. So I'm Rodgers in, but Jesus, Rodgers, please, 2-1 down. Mix it up. Put Dawson up top. He scores a goal. It's not rocket science. It's Sunday bloody pub football at times that you need to change. Chris says, keep the faith in Rodgers. You're not going to get no one else. Who do you do a better job? Just off season, everyone has one. Which I understand. But Chris, are you not worried? Not a little bit worried? Honestly, a little bit worried here. Fearless Fox says 2 more Premier League games left, then I think he's gone. Well, the next Premier League game, forget Randers on Thursday. If you want to, people jokingly call that a pub league. That's a pub team. Honestly, Randers, the town, the whole thing. We've got to win that. We're 4-1 up. We'll talk about it in a bit if you want. But do you play the B team on Thursday? Do you rest people? I mean, crikey, playing Burnley next week on the Tuesday. That's massive. Lose away at Burnley. Rodgers in for me, says TJ. Thanks, TJ. But he has to shake things up ASP. TJ, I think I'm on the same book as you, honestly. Honestly, I'm in there. Wayne says, too stale, no plan. No. Yes, Wendy says no. Listen, I'm not, Andy. It's not rocket science to do what West Ham, David Moyes is in 4th place in the Premier League. They're losing, and he puts Dawson up top. And Rodgers, in his post-match comments, acknowledged that. Because that's why he brought Vestergaard on, he said. Because because they'd put Dawson up top to try and get something out of the game. I put Vestergaard on. They're his words. So why, when we're trying to get something out of the game at Wolves, does he not go to plan B? Why did he take Daka off yesterday and put Nacho on? Why did we not play Daka and Nacho? We needed to score. This is my frustration. I'm Rodgers in, but frustrated Rodgers in. Mick says, why didn't we play with two strikers? I agree. Did we play well though, Phil? No plan B, awful at set pieces at both ends, lightweight in midfield. John, I'm with you on that because I thought it was okay. But then you've got to remember, John, I was there at Forest Away where it was beyond rubbish. Beyond. That's the worst day in 45 years of watching Leicester, that Forest Away. And I've still not thought of a worse day than that. Stoke, when we lost away and got relegated to League One, wasn't as bad as the Forest game. So I agree. Yesterday was better. Yesterday was better than when we lost at home to Spurs. Yesterday was better than the Forest away game. But it wasn't great yesterday. It wasn't great. Box Sniffer Bruce, great name, Box Sniffer, says poor transfers and injuries don't help. Agreed. But you have to manage that. That's what the manager does, isn't it, Box Sniffer Bruce? Can't get rid, nobody lined up or anyone I can think of. I'm with you, Craig. I'm not here to stir the pot of poop and say who should we sign. I'm really not here to say that. But there are managers available. So it could happen. And I think at some point you might have to look. I mean, Burnley, to me, I just can't see what would happen if we were to lose against Burnley, honestly. This is the classic. This is the classic. Callum says, apart from the result, was there any negatives from yesterday? Well, apart from the fact that we lost Callum and we got no points again, I would say that's a fairly major flaw in being a football team and a football manager. So apart from the result, the result sort of is the key. Or is it Brian Clough, the legend that is Brian Clough, said, there's only one thing that really matters. I'm trying to do a bit of a Brian Clough there, mate. There's only one thing that really matters, lad, and that's the scoreline. It is. We played okay, but I'm not going to say it was amazing yesterday. Nick says, you'd send the under-23s and fringe players to Randers. The league is the priority, not Europe. I think the B team should go to Randers and get points. I really do think that. Thanks for everybody who's giving us a like and a share. I can see you, so thank you for that. Keep that going. In Rodgers we trust. It will be all right on the night, Phil. Thanks, Matt. Thanks. I do trust him to an extent, but honestly, every time I see somebody who's Rodgers in, who's watching this, please put in the comments and say why you think he's right when we're losing 2-1 to not mix it up. Bloody hell, I'd have preferred to have lost 2-1 yesterday and he put Soyuncu up top for the last 5 minutes, or Vestergaard, bring him on, or try something. But we didn't try anything again. Donna says, Brendan in, but only with a different approach, which I think, Donna, is along the lines of what I'm saying. Hope you're well, Donna. Stephen says, Rodgers out, tired of playing pass back. Listen, I think why I like Rodgers is because we do play quite a cultured style of football, and it is some of the best football I've seen us play in all the years, and the passing and the possession play. So I do like the fact that we try that. Two up top. It is, Craig. It is simple, isn't it? You're losing 2-1. Either play two up top. Either play Daka and Iheanacho and say, that says to Wolves, hey up, we're playing two strikers. We've got Pats and Daka and Kelechi Iheanacho, two decent strikers, and we're trying to get a goal. That's what it says. It says it to the fans. It says it to the team. It says it to Wolves. We're trying to score a goal. Or you put the big man up top, like West Ham did with Dawson, or like Leicester used to do under Martin O'Neill, and players like that, and you say, we're going to have a go. I'd rather lose 3-1. We pushed Casper up for the corners at the end. Casper didn't go up for the corner in the 90th minute, but he did go up for the one in the 94th minute. Heck, you might as well lose 3-1 as try and make it 2-2. West Ham did it against us. Daka and Nacho played better as a 2. I think you could be right there, Paul, because if I'm honest, Paul, you and anybody else who's watching, I'm not convinced by Daka yet. A lot of you are going, Daka's amazing. Daka's brilliant. Oh, he's the next. I'm yet to see it. He can looks like he can finish a goal here and there in the box, but I'm not seeing lots else from Daka. Nacho, needs a run again. He's been left out the side, and last season we saw what happens when you give Nacho a bit of a run. He holds the ball up. Dave says we can't buy a win in the league, but if we lose any more games, it's a relegation battle. Are you worried, Dave? Let me know. Honestly, there's so many comments coming in. I'm trying to get as many in there as possible. Karen says, tired of being disappointed week after week, game after game, trying very hard to keep the faith. You and me too, Karen. But I am keeping the faith, and I am Rodgers in. 73% of you guys. We did a poll yesterday. I thought, I've got to be fair, we did this in the post-match live yesterday. I thought the Rodgers out brigade might just tip the balance, but it wasn't. 73% say Rodgers in. I'm in the 73%. Are you, or are you in the 23%? So no, come on, Bill, do your maths. 73 and 27 equals 100. See, this is why we do creative things where I am. I can't do maths. Luckily, because when I look at the table, if I wouldn't want to be doing the maths, listen, are we possibly in a relegation battle? If we lost to Burnley, are we in that mix? I don't think so. But I want to know what you think. Let me know what you think. Get your views and get your comments in. Bradley Cooper says, Rodgers needs a head wobble ASAP. He's lost when we're losing. Best form of defence is attack, not defend. I agree. Show some intent, Bradley. By the way, God rest the other Bradley Cooper I remember from my childhood. Any of you who might know him. Ben says, 10 million a year manager that has no plan B. Set pieces, Ben. God, grief, what are we doing? What do we do? Do you know what? I've just been over to visit my parents who live quite near the training ground, a couple of miles away. And I drove by it today, and it looks absolutely. The sun was setting, the lights were on. I drove right by it. I was going to pull over and do a quick live, but I thought best not. Might get ushered away. But Ben, what are we doing in training? Ben says here, set pieces, attacking and defending are a joke. That's down to poor coaching. Same problems aren't getting fixed. What are they doing in the training ground? Honestly, when we have free kicks or woeful corners yesterday, woeful corners. We had to change corner kickers because it was that bad. Callum, you've got Brendan in because Vardy's back again. Vardy first came back against Burnley. You've got to be careful with him now. You've got to be careful with him, Callum. And again, I don't think Vardy particularly fits the way Brendan Rodgers plays, if I'm honest, to you on there. Daka is too flimsy, says LCFC Grey at present. Ross says we've only lost 3 away games last season, and this season we've lost double that. I think we've only won 3 away games this season, haven't we? And I think that includes cup games. 2 up front, says Wayne, are better than Foxes are better when they hunt in numbers. Nice one there, Wayne. Liam says it took Vardy a while to start firing. Yeah, I agree with Daka. I think you're talking about Daka there, Liam. I agree. I'm not overly criticising him. I'm not convinced yet. And I agree. I'm here to give him time. I think he shows great potential. But I'm not sure how much, apart from when he's in the box with the ball, you really see of him. Now, Lookman, we could have a chat about Lookman because we don't own Lookman. But yesterday probably looked one of our most aggressive, determined, skillful, attacking players that we had. So I did really like what I saw from Lookman yesterday. He's convincing me that we should perhaps buy him. And I'm getting close to saying he's worth a 20 million punt, maybe. I won't go a lot more than that, if I'm honest. We have won in the league in 8 weeks. We have won in the league in 8 weeks. Yes, I didn't say we haven't won in the league in 8 weeks, but whether Nick, you're talking to somebody else, I know there's a little side, you lot having your little side conversations, your side debates, which is fine. The service to Daka is worse than middle of main line last week. They play him to beat round. Yes, I agree. The way we play at times, this passy, doesn't suit Jamie Vardy and Daka sometimes. Do you know what they are? Wait, Kenny, Jamie Vardy and Patson Daka, they're fast. I remember somebody called Danny Drinkwater pinging balls over the top to Jamie Vardy to run onto. It's not that glamorous. It's not that clever. I think Patson Daka could do the same, Kenny. And I agree with you about the train lines. We're 5 points from 17th, says Sean. Thank you for that, Sean. Are you being doom and gloom with that, Sean? Let me know what you think. Karen says Rodgers in with some drastic changes. Nick says, yes, we are in the relegation battle. Leeds, Everton and Newcastle are, so are we. Well, I think Newcastle are on their way out of it. Listen, Newcastle are on the way out of this. For me, there's no way Newcastle have made changes and invested in January. I think Newcastle have done enough and are doing enough. They're going in the right direction. Leeds, could get caught up in it. Everton have not been relegated from the top league, I think, forever. I think history is on their side that they'll escape it. But I don't think we will get caught up in a relegation, and I don't think we are in one. But I'm going to do a ... and say yet. And I don't want to be chatting with you after the Burnley game, because I honestly think if we lost to Burnley, I think you have to say we are in towards a relegation battle. Fearless Fox says here, Burnley away is a mighty toughie, especially with only 2 away wins. It will be. Daka, don't involve Daka in that foolishness. Not quite sure what you're on about, Mucus, my son. Paul says we could get dragged in because we can't defend. I mean, we've got the worst defence in the league, I believe, or statistically, we're certainly down there. The councillor says, good evening, sir, says, Lookman was a positive yesterday, as was Ricky P getting more game time. Matty Bond says, Vardy straight back in means Vardy injured again. Brendan rushes everyone back. Do you know, Matty, I've been saying that for a while. Check the last 2 years, and I think you'll find Matty Bond is spot on with that. We rushed players back. We rushed Vardy back last season when he wasn't ready, and it's come back. We rushed Johnny Evans back, and he's come back. We rushed Ricardo Pereira back. We rushed James Justin backs. You know, I know he was unlucky, but I just thought we did rush him back a little bit. Mick says, I just don't trust Brendan Rodgers to choose decent players in the summer based on his record. He's also done poor in Europe, so I think when a decent manager becomes available, we need a change. Do you agree with Mick there? Do you agree with Mick's comments? Thanks, Mick, for your comments. Keep them coming in. If you can, read all the comments. There's some great comments in here. I've tried to get as many in here as possible. Joe's Rodgers out. Joe, tell me more. Why? I want reasons, mate. Reasons, please. Statistically, says Andrew, our defence this season is the worst since the 90s. Now, I'm taking your word for that, Andrew, because I don't know that stat. But is that true? Is that true, Andrew? Or are you fluffing me with that? I'll have to give it that you are doing it. Reese, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for your comments. Reese says, there's no point sacking him now, Phil. We've got nothing to play for in the Premier League. Reese, I hope you're right there. I actually would take that. If you offered me mid-table obscurity this season right now, Reese, I would take it. Would you? Would you take that, Reese? And anybody else who's watching, would you take that mid-table obscurity now? I'd take it, because then I'd say, right, let's have a real go at this Conference League. Anyway, Reese's comment. We got nothing to play for in the Premier League. Then decide in the summer, either back him. I think if you give him till the summer, we back him, we go again, Reese. I honestly do. And I'm with you. I would try and get to the summer, but I keep saying it. I think suddenly Burnley, a week on Tuesday, you'd want to draw, you'd want a point, but really you'd want more. Keep those comments coming in. And don't forget, thank you for all those people who've liked and shared on Facebook. Go on, if you're watching on Facebook, do me a favour. Give us a like, give us a share. If you're watching on YouTube, like a lot of you are, give us a subscribe. And if you're watching on Twitter, hello, give us a little retweet. Appreciate that. Back to all your comments in there. Keith, no. Because like we sort of talk about different topics. So that's not going to happen. I hate the players think we've got nothing to play for. That is half the problem. John O'Towers, what was it a good performance yesterday? I want to know. And again, I'm still trying to get to the bottom of this. Reedy, who does Friday nights 7:30. Make sure you tune into Reedy and Jack's live Wednesday, of course, 7:30. Reedy went to the match yesterday. I watched it on TV, so I was coming back from holiday, got home in time to watch it on the box. But Reedy went to it. Fair play. He was in there in the rain and wet, and he came out saying. So this morning he came into the office at Leicester Fan TV and he said, "Good. It was good. It was really good. It was the best I've seen us play for a while. I'll take that. I'll take that." And I was like, "But really, we lost. We lost, and we played okay. We played better than we had done in some of the shambolic performances I've witnessed recently. When we lost, when we were 55 seconds from a 2-1 win against Spurs and we lost 3-2." When we were a minute or so from beating West Ham and we drew 2-2, when we completely gave up and didn't give a monkey's rat's tits arse at Forest. So I said to Reedy, it was better than that, but hell, I'm not going to get carried away with a 2-1 defeat at Wolves and say, "Oh, we played well." I'm not taking that. Last season, we should have finished fourth. The season before, we should have finished fourth. We should have built on those 2 seasons, and we should not be suddenly 11th, 12th, 13th and going, "We played well away at Wolves. That was good. Oh, well played, Leicester. Good try." I don't think that's good enough. That's just my view. What's your view? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is good enough that, hey, I'll take a better performance, but I don't think it's good enough. Get your views in. We played quite well, says Ian, but still made mistakes at the back and didn't close their players down for their goals. Yeah, that's about right. We had 20 minutes in the second half where we were by far the better team in there. Ball over the top was working, says Neil. Yeah, a little bit more direct, please, Neil, at times. We do say that. Do we always have to keep passy? Craig says, thought we played okay yesterday, to be fair. Got absolutely soaked, but came out the ground thinking we played okay. P.S. Wolves is a terrible away day. Yeah, Wolves is a funny play. But Craig, you've come out there going, "Oh, I get it. We played better, but we still lost, Craig, and we didn't try in the last 5 or 10 minutes to do anything different, did we? We just we're 2-1 down, and we kept going, and we kept going, and we kept going, which is good, but I don't know. Adam says, "Why have you backed him all season, Phil?" Because I do back Rodgers. I do think he's a decent manager. And I do agree when people say, who would you put in his place? And I'd ask you, to people who do want Rodgers out, who would you have in his place? The only person that really springs to my mind, who I think is still available, would be Nuno, the ex-Wolves manager, because he sort of knows the Premier League. And I think he did a really decent job at Wolves. I think he was unlucky at Spurs, and I think he was ousted there for all sorts of wrong reasons because Conte suddenly became available. But I think Nuno could come in, but I'm still Rodgers in. But there's one answer that you could look to a replacement if he hasn't gone anywhere yet, which tomorrow I haven't looked because I do back Rodgers, but I am frustrated with him, Adam. That's my honest take on it. I'm frustrated with his blinkered way of playing at times. Matthew, thank you. Comments says, "You can play great football all you like, but a loss is a loss," which is what I agree with yesterday. I didn't mind the long ball counter-attacks gameplay. It worked. He's too stubborn to try it too often. Joe says, "We've conceded 43 goals this season in the Premier League with 23 games." Yeah, defensive coach needed, please. Apply here. The councillor is chatting to Ross. That's fine. He says, "Ross, I can't get excited about the Europa whilst we ain't winning in the Premier League." Always trust Ross. Always trust the councillor's views. He's the guy in charge. He's the councillor. Remember that. Joe says, "Steve Cooper from Forest." He's not going to leave Forest at the moment to come to Leicester. Trust me. They're on a rock and roll down there at Forest. I think they could certainly make the playoffs this season. Lee says, "We played better as a team, but we still looked off it as a whole, especially up top. Daka just looks lonely. Lonely up to Miss Vardy, indeed." Patrick says, who thought Rodgers was available at Celtic when we got him. I agree. So Patrick is right. There will be some managers who would come to Leicester who are in a job. Trust Patrick. Patrick speaks sense. There is, but we're not here. I'm not here to stir the pot. I'm not here to say Rodgers out because I'm not. I'm Rodgers in. I keep saying it. But we are going to have the debate. Some people have said to me yesterday, I put the poll up on the Leicester Fan TV Twitter account, and I had some people tweet us going, "You're just stirring the pot. Why are you doing that? You lot are always Rodgers out." I'm like, the vote was, are you Rodgers in or Rodgers out? I'm giving you, the fans, the chance to have a debate. I'm Rodgers in, as are 73%, but 27% aren't. So we are. That's why we're having the debate, because things aren't. If things were perfect, like last season or the season before, we'd be in that top 6, battling for the top 4. But it's got worse. It's got considerably worse than last season. This is who's available. Rodgers wasn't available at the time. No excuse, says Craig. How can you back him when we're dropping down the table? Well, because I think you have to give people the time to turn things around, and I think a couple of wins would turn things around. But I'm struggling to see. I think the next 2 games are Burnley and Leeds. I'm struggling to see 4 points out of that, if I'm honest. Are you? Come on then, let's have that. This is pretty much the end of what we've got. We're at 8 o'clock. We'll go a little bit longer if you want, because I want to know, out of the next 2, forget Randers, forget the pub team. No disrespect, actually, total disrespect to that level of football. Crikey, we beat Loughborough Dynamo equivalent last week. Oh, I'd be a bit harsh. We beat Burton Albion last week, 4-1. Don't get carried away. We'll beat them on Thursday. But how many points do you think? Put in the comments, please, before we wrap up. How many points will we get in the next 2 Premier League fixtures? I think we'd be lucky to get 4. I'd snap your hand off now if you were to give me 4 points. So I want to know how many points you think we're going to get. I think the next 2 games, if I'm right, put me right if I'm wrong. I think it's Burnley and then it's Leeds. How many points from those 2 games? Let me know in the comments how many points. Matty Bond says 2. He's saying 2 draws. Look at me, I'm good with the maths. Saying earlier, Joe saying 3. Obviously, Joe, where's the 3 coming from? Burnley or Leeds? Let me know. Steve is saying 1 point. Simon May is saying 0. Brooklyn, 6 points. 6 points. I'm trying to think, when was the last time we had 2 wins on the spin? Oh, we've done it this season, but fair play, 6 points. Let's come back. Simon said nil. We've had that. Fun Gus Eater 40. Great name on your YouTube. 4 points, same as me. I'm going to go 4 points. I'm hopeful 4 points. I'm not quite sure I believe it. If we can't beat Leeds, then we can't use injuries as an excuse. Leeds have an injury crisis as well, says Sean. Yeah, indeed. Matt Tebbert says 3. Ian T says a minimum of 4. I'd take 4, Ian. Listen, you say a minimum of 4. I'd be quite happy with 4 at the moment. LCFC Gray says, answer this. Why haven't we played to the level we can surely putting on the shirt is enough to perform? I don't know, LCFC Gray. If you want my honest, some players' hearts are just not bothered about this. They might point to that. They might occasionally score a goal and be like, but they don't mean it. Trust me, they're not Leicester fans like me and you. If I do that, I mean that. I mean that. And you mean that when you do that. That is there. That is in our blood. When some players do it, well, when most players do it, they don't mean it. And some of them, I don't think they're playing with much heart at the moment. That's LCFC Grey. That's my answer to you. I don't think there's enough heart out there. Some show it, but I don't think enough. I just said enough as well. Good grief. Joanna says 4. Draw against Burnley and beat Leeds. Bazza says 6. Nick says 6. Jack says 6. Kenny says 1. Come on, Kenny. We're all getting excited there. Nick says 2. Sean is Rodgers in. When we have first team back, then we can moan. I thought, yeah, but Sean, Sean, we may not have the first team back all season. So I think you'd be moaning if we did get relegated, because I don't think you can go into the Championship next year saying, but we should be still in that Premier League. We should be in the Premier League, but we had injuries. It doesn't carry on. So I think I'm just a bit over the injury thing. We've got a lot of the players back now. Andrew says most of our success under Rodgers was in an empty stadiums. Now the fans back. Has it phased us? That's a great question, Andrew, and you could be onto something. It definitely seemed to suit us playing in empty stadiums. John Towers says 6 points. It should be 6, but it will be less. Jan, is that Jan or yeah? No, it's Jan, isn't it? Says it. Oh, Jan, come on. You've got to think more than that. You've got to think more than that. Rumble TV 2 says 6 points. We're on the up. Paul says 1 from Burnley and 2 from Leeds. That's 3 points. 3 points, says Paul. Thank you for that. Mitchell is saying 1 from Burnley. Ivan, welcome, Ivan. Hope you're well. Says, seen an independent review on Rodgers. He makes the same mistakes every third season, they say. 3 wins in 14, and how he can still be at Leicester. Interesting one to view. Thanks, Ivan. That would be an interesting one. And I know Liverpool fans have said similar, that it was that third season sin. Kenny says, I'm getting emotional. What with all that? But I mean it, Kenny. You mean it. That means something to me and you. And when players do it, I'm like, I don't buy it anymore because some of them want bigger contracts and will move to other clubs. And, maybe I'm an old cynic now. I think I'm turning into a grumpy old man at times. So apologies for that. But I'm still passionate. And got that faith. I think we're going to get 4 points. I'm hoping for 6. But as times I go, it'll probably be 1 point. We'll scrape a point against Leeds. But I was just answering that question, Kenny, about what I think is going on. Too many players going through the motions, says John Towers. Fearless says, we all mean it because only folk from Leicester support Leicester. We're not plastics. I agree with you. I agree. Listen, not everybody is from Leicester and supports Leicester. We are a global business now, which I'm happy about. It's great. We have Michael from Seattle. We have Elijah from Toronto. We have Don from Myrtle Beach. We have Jamie, the famous Fox's Arms guy. He was from Leicester, Jamie. You know he was. But I don't mind that. It's nice that we're a big club now and people do support us. But, I can guarantee you when Michael Birksdale and Elijah do this, it's because they love Leicester. Even though they're not from Leicester, they genuinely support Leicester and they love Leicester. But some of the players who aren't from Leicester, which is most of them nowadays, not quite so sure. Luciano says, I think relegation talk now is absurd, but definitely something to have behind our heads. So, yes. So you're sort of saying, I don't want to talk about it, but it's in the back of your mind. I think you're right. It is in the back of your mind. I think that's what you mean. Can't go back to empty stadiums. I'll crack up. I know. Oh, we all missed it, Joanna. I'm not going to ask, Joanna, I was about to say, did you prefer it when we couldn't go? We've run out of time, Joanna, but the question could have been, did you prefer it when we were doing really well and you couldn't go to the games, or do you prefer it now when you can go to the games and we're not doing so well? I've only just thought of that question because of your comment there. What a great question that is. We can't do it now because look at the time. Look at the time. We've overrun. We're 7 minutes late. Joanna, you've left us on a cliffhanger. The question would have been empty stadiums and Leicester doing well and you can't go to it. Or you can go to it, but it's a bag of spanners. What would you prefer? We're not going to do it. Joanna says football was better without us. Maybe it's us, Joanna. Oh, maybe it's us. Maybe it's the fans' fault. Maybe it is the fans' fault. You started that, Joanna. Maybe it's the fans' fault. Michael says, maybe we're Forest fans. Well, look, you can see from behind me, I do like a red shirt, but I do like it if it's got this badge on it. This badge. Listen, last comment to Andy Medhurst. If we never had empty stadium, we would be in the bottom 3 now. If we never had an empty stadium. I don't know where you're going there. Yes, Fearless Fox. I used to go when we had 7,000. I was there with you, mate, on a Tuesday night. out. Please, out. We all know the chants. Listen, my name's Phil. This has been Leicester Fan TV. As ever, I think I've enjoyed this more than you guys. I know I have, because it's great having your comments. You made me smile. You made me laugh. Joanna still got me going with that comment right at the end. Oh my God, it's us. It's the fans. They did better when we weren't there. Oh my God, what a moment to leave us on. The team did better without us there. We spoil it. By going to the games, we're spoiling it and we're letting them down. We're not. It's not the same without us fans. We'll be there this season. We'll be there next season. We'll hopefully be there. God rest Bernie and all the other sad Leicester fans who've sadly passed away recently. We'll all hopefully be there next year. We'll all be hopefully there in a few years to come. Come what may, whatever league we're in, we'll be there. But did they play better without us? Joanna, see you later.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.